Okay, it's the next day. It's 10/19/2021 after the market closed, and these are the lines that I drew yesterday on 10/18. So this is the daily chart that we're looking at on the SPY, and I wanted to see how these lines played out today on a shorter time frame chart. So if we switch over to the 5-minute chart, it looks like when we came into the open, we had a lot of reactivity around this 448.92 level. Now, I want to show you something kind of crazy. I drew that line yesterday, and if I put my 5-minute chart indicators back on, you'll see that this orange dashed line is the today's open, and it actually opened at that exact number to the penny. I think that's kind of insane. Exactly to the penny. So when lines like this work out, you kind of want to take note of like why you drew them where they are, because you know that that's something that, you know, might work in the future. So let's go back to the daily chart, and I'll try to figure out where I drew that line and why. So if we stretch this out, I'm looking at 448.92. So why did I draw this line? I drew this line right here on the close of 8/25/2021. I noticed that it closed at 448.92 here. It almost touched this next day. It went through this next day. We touched here, here, and we went through here. And then again, it looks like this day's high almost touched that same exact level. So that was why I picked that line. And you can see that this is a pivot. So when it hits this close, it rejects and comes back down and then comes all the way back up. I bet you if we looked at the 5-minute chart on this day, we'll see some sort of reactivity. Or actually, on this day, we'll probably see some reactivity here. So let's actually see what that looks like. So let me make this a little bit smaller. I want to click on this right here. I'm going to put a 5-minute chart down here. And we're going to click on this day. This day was August 27th. So let's enlarge August 27th down here. It would be this day. So I'm just going to zoom into this day here. And look at that, 448.92. So when it was the previous day's high, which we already know because that was one of the reasons we drew the line there, but it looks like we did have some reactivity and we even back tested this line. So this can be like further confirmation that your pivots are working, or that they are going to work in the future because they've worked in the past. So that's just an idea to keep in mind of when you're drawing pivots. You can always go back to one of these days where the price candle has gone through that price, and you can see where it reacted. Now let's try just one more time, just for fun. So this candle goes all the way through this price level that we're looking at, 448.92. So I'm gonna click on this day, which is September 10th. So if I click on September 10th, it's going to populate down here on the 5-minute chart. Let me enlarge that. And this day is September 10th right here. This is the 5-minute chart on September 10th. So the one thing that I really like about eSignal is that you can go back and look at 5-minute charts history and see exactly where these levels are hitting, which is pretty cool. You do have to pay extra for that if you want to go a little bit further back in time, which kind of sucks, but it's worth it when you're drawing pivots, and this is really something that helps draw pivots as well. So let's check it out. 448.92. It looks like we have a reaction right here. We pivot, and then once we break through, we're moving on to the next significant support, which would be previous day's low, and then the 20 EMA, and then the next pivot line, which is in red here. So you can see once it comes back up, we are testing it several times from above and then again from below. So this is a significant line, 448.92. And that, if we fast forward to today, I'm just going to click this arrow down here. We came into this level exactly and actually opened at 448.92. So my prediction from yesterday wasn't exactly right. We haven't quite tested 447 from above yet. I don't know if we're going to. We look pretty strong here. But that's okay. The idea is just to have levels and work off the levels that you've drawn. So let's check another line that's going through here. We have this diagonal line that I drew, which was a really, really like near-term trend line. And it looks like the price was kind of following along this line here. And maybe we might even come into it tomorrow and have a little bit more reactivity today. Tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. There actually, I should have drawn a pivot right around 450. I had that on my previous SPY pivots template that I saved, but I redrew them and missed that one, which would have been here, around here. So there actually should be a pivot right here because this is a significant point. So yeah, tomorrow if we're holding, we hold this, and if we hold this diagonal trend line, then we can head back up to 454. Now, the question is how to trade, knowing that you have these levels here, how do you trade it? So obviously this SPY is a little bit expensive. It's it's 450. Like, you don't want to just buy and sell a whole bunch of that for day trades because it's going to tie up all your capital. And so what I usually do is I will have, I take trades on SVXY and UVXY. Those are volatility tickers. And I like those for when the SPY is at its all-time lows and highs, or near-term lows and highs. So I would have to go back to the daily chart to look at that. So let me get rid of these indicators because those are meant for the 5-minute, and I'm going to drop my daily chart indicators back on. Now if we zoom in, let's go in here. So I have these Bollinger Bands here, and I really like to buy the SVXY and UVXY down here when we're at 2 standard deviations away and above. So we're actually getting to a good place where I would maybe want to start buying some UVXY. Because as the price of the SPY goes up, UVXY drops, and it becomes a good buying opportunity. So if there is another pullback down here, then you'll earn money on UVXY, and then when you're down here, this is when you want to buy SVXY because the VIX is high. So when you come back up, you make money on SVXY. Those are the ways that I like to use the SPY to trade. And then another thing I use the SPY to trade is for market alignment. So I've talked about that in previous videos, where when you're day trading a large cap stock, it's best to have good market alignment. So if the SPY is really strong for that day, you probably want to find a stock that's getting bought up and go long on it, versus during these times here, like especially this would be a really good day to take a short on a large cap stock, this day and this day for shorts. This would be a good day for longs. This would be a good day for long here as well. So you kind of get the idea. you want to be long and short on SPY days with a nice big range and a clear directional movement. So I'm specifically talking about large cap day trading. If you're thinking swing trading, that's a whole different strategy. My main strategy is day trading large caps with high volume and a catalyst. It's really highly predictable and lower risk than day trading these meme momentum stocks. It might not be as exciting because, you know, you're not doubling or tripling or quadrupling your money in a matter of seconds to minutes, but you are taking lower risk trades, and you can kind of predict the price action much better by using your pivots. So this says PP, but it's actually SPY. Yeah, so those are my ideas on how to trade the SPY if you're day trading or if you're using it for volatility trades. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess if you guys do draw these lines on your chart tomorrow, then you can see how they play out. What do I think is going to happen tomorrow? Well, you know, nobody can really predict the future, but maybe we'll hold 450.67 and continue higher. Especially since we have this vertical line here. That means this vertical line is really high momentum, because let me just show you how I drew it on the daily chart. I'm just going to zoom in here. So this is a really near-term trend line connecting the low of this day to the low of that day, and it's like nearly vertical. So if this high momentum continues, then we could see this just going straight up. But I personally think that when things go straight up, they usually come straight down. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. No one can predict the future, but we can kind of speculate. Anyway, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Follow me on StockTwits at HeyLittleTrader with 2 R's at the end. I post my daily large cap day trading watch lists with pivots. So yeah, that's about it. Have a good one.